Hey everybody, welcome back to GWN. I am Noctair, your host. So right now it is about 3 o'clock in the morning where I'm at, and I am dead dog tired, but I had to get this video out. I absolutely love this attack strategy. It's the strategy I was searching for and just could not for the life of me find. It's called PEKKA Glide, and creds out to the guys in Creative Clash for coming up with this. It's awesome. Absolutely love it. Pairs two of my favorite troops. You take Super PEKKAs and Hog Gliders and put them in a combination of 2x4 or 3x3 to just decimate Builder Hall 9 bases. And believe it or not, this strategy even works well against fully maxed defenses on Builder Hall 9 bases. So it's one heck of a cool strategy. The way it works, and we're going to start off, I got like 6 replays, I think it is. Starting off here with this one from Turtle. It was the first one I was told about that was using it. So the way it works is you send in the Super PEKKAs and the battle machine to kind of clear the periphery. So you're basically creating a funnel. Once you've got that set up so that they're going to go straight into the base the way you want them to, normally if it's got a long wall like this one did, the Super PEKKA are going to cut the hole into it, and then they're going to go in along with the battle machine. You're sending in the Hog Gliders, first and foremost, to stun any defenses that are in front of them, especially the Crushers. The Crushers are a big, big deal here, guys. If there's anything that's going to cause massive damage to your Hog Gliders, because remember, they like to kind of group together, it's going to be those Crushers. So they're going to stun them, and then working together, they're going to take the Crushers down. In a lot of cases, if you do your timing right, which most of the time these guys do, they got the timing down like you wouldn't believe. If you got your timing right, when the Super PEKKAs and or the battle machine are getting close to the Crusher, that's when you send in a couple of the Hog Gliders so they can stun it, and then the Super PEKKAs and or battle machine will take it down. You always want to kind of hold back a little bit on one or two as well, and you'll see this in all the replays. You've got a second Crusher you need to deal with. So if you hold back on them a little bit, more often than not, you'll be able to take that second Crusher down pretty easily as well. I mean, really, if you ask me, the biggest problem for most of the ground attacks has in fact been the Crushers. They are absolutely positively the biggest problem for a ground attack. And if you can find a way to eliminate them, well, that's going to make your ground attack go a lot better, isn't it? And that's exactly what happens. Here we got Zooted running his attack on a Sidewinder base. Same basic thing. He's bringing in the Hog Gliders at kind of a trickle pace, if you will, spreading them out a little bit there on the more or less bottom of the base. And you see they're stunning that Crusher. As they stun the Crusher, more of the troops, including the Super PEKKA, works her way in and takes it out. And you can see just how much they're going to sweep through the space. I mean, look at how many defenses they've taken out in just like the first, not even minute of the attack strategy. I mean, it's huge, it's ginormous, it's phenomenal. And they've got enough health that they can typically survive one drop of a fully maxed Crusher. The second one will get them though, and that's why they're so dangerous to your Hog Gliders. And why, well, Hog Riders, because they're in the rider mode, and why you want to get them out of the way as early as you can, or pad your troops in such a way that they're not going to be hitting it on their own. One of the things that's kind of funny about this attack strategy is, and you'll notice the Town Hall, the Builder Hall, it typically doesn't get hit early on in the attack. More often than not, it's toward the end of the attack when it finally gets taken down. Which is kind of wild because, I mean, you might be thinking, boy, I want to get the Builder Hall right away to secure the 2-star. That's not how it works with this attack strategy. In fact, this is kind of a high risk, high reward kind of attack strategy. Even though it works really well, there's definitely some risk there. And I've had several times where, unfortunately, as I walked all the way through it, I did not have the oomph to get back to the Builder Hall. Just how it works out sometimes. You end up with a high 1-star, not what you want. Probably the most susceptible base to this attack strategy is the one that I hate the most, the bracket base. And Tony ran this against, I want to say it was 3 different bracket bases. Almost textbook process ABC 1, 2, 3, just like you see it here in this replay. he flat out knocked it out of the park. It was unbelievable. Exact same basic deployment vectors had almost the exact same result. And every one of the bracket bases that he ran it against was just slightly different. So, you know, things were, sometimes the brackets were closed, sometimes they were open, sometimes the bottom was closer, sometimes it was further away. You've got different layouts of the hidden defenses, including traps and mines. So, I mean, lots of little differences in the base and a couple of decent sized differences, but yet totally annihilated every single bracket base he went up against. And I have other replays that I'm not necessarily including here where it was the exact same result against these bracket bases. So those of you who have been having trouble with bracket bases, there you go. Here I am working on a bit of a Sidewinder myself. I ran pretty much the same process as a lot of the other guys are. I brought in my Super PEKKAs to clear out some of the outer buildings. Then in come the Hog Gliders to take out some of those defenses down on the, well, it's kind of the bottom of the base. It's more or less to the right, though, so, you know, on the right-hand side. And then as those go down, I bring in the rest of the Hog Glider because I want to stun that Crusher. Again, with the Crusher. With the Crusher stunned, there's more than enough of them there to take it out of commission, and they proceed to sweep their way up through the base, 2 different attack lines, absolutely decimating all of the defenses. And ideally, in most of these attacks, you want your Super PEKKA to take the bulk of the damage from the defense. If you can get the Super PEKKAs, and for that matter, the battle machine out in front, such that most of the defenses are focusing on them, you're going to get a 3-star. I mean, that is the way this attack runs. It really is that strong. And more often than not, at the end of the attack, you're going to have around 20 to 25% of the base left over. And that's going to be done with cleanup. Now, sometimes you're going to have a Super PEKKA and a handful of Hog Riders, as well as your battle machine doing it. Sometimes if the attack didn't go quite as well as you would have liked, maybe your timing was a little off, or the defense was arranged in such a way that it didn't work out so well, you may have just a battle machine. I've had a few of these go all the way up to the 3-minute mark with the battle machine working his way through the bulk of what was left over. Kind of like the early days of the minion drops shimmy attack strategy as well. Here we got one with SirBot. He just started working on this attack strategy tonight, and he's doing really well with it. Not too shabby at all. He brings in 2 attack vectors, brings in his Super PEKKAs from the top left and right, lets them take out some of the buildings that are kind of in the way. Then they work their way into the base up there at the top, on the top left, if you will. Holds back a little bit on his Hog Gliders. He wants to try to get to the Crushers. Doesn't quite make it, but that is the plan. When he finally gets them all in there, they proceed to do the standard sweep that we've seen in the other replays. Battle machine's over there by that last Crusher. Between him and the Hog Rider, they're going to take it out no problem. And you end up with just a handful of defenses left over and half a dozen Hog Riders and the battle machine to work on cleanup. So, as you might have guessed, I'm a big fan of this attack strategy. It is definitely my current favorite. Pairs one of my all-time favorite troops, the Super PEKKA, up with the new troop. So that's cool. What makes this work so well? Honestly, I think it's the Super PEKKA. She receives a huge boost at level 17 and 18 to her HP. And because of that, she's able to do a lot more damage because she survives a lot longer. So I think that's what makes this such a strong attack strategy. We'll see how it goes when more players have the troops maxed and we have more bases that are maxed as well. And all these had shown you 4 and 2. So 4 Hog Gliders, 2 Super PEKKAs. Poor Heron, the guy who actually told me about this attack strategy, ended up taking a defense where he got 3-starred by somebody else using it. And in this case, they ran it 3x3. So 3 camps of Hog Gliders, 3 camps of Super PEKKAs. And it works out really well that way too. Once again, we're looking at a bracket base, which, like I said, I honestly believe the bracket base is the hands down most susceptible to this attack strategy. And, well, it's textbook, guys. What can I say? the troops sweep right on through. You've got the Super PEKKAs working their way in, taking the brunt of the hits from the defense, taking out the Crushers. You've got the Hog Gliders doing tons and tons and tons of damage until finally there just ain't a whole heck of a lot left to this base. And that's all she wrote. Like I said, love this attack strategy. And I know you guys have been wanting to see some stuff with the Hog Gliders. And really, this is probably the best general strategy I've seen with the Hog Gliders yet. I think they're going to be used a lot in more of the kitchen sink type attacks, especially when we've got more people with them maxed. But at least for right now, good, solid general attack strategy using 4 and 2 or 3 and 3 Hog Gliders and Super PEKKAs. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I had to get this out to you right away because it's just such a cool attack strategy. Comments, questions down below. Thanks a lot for sticking around to the end. And I'll be back in another couple days with some more 3-star attack replays for you from a few different clans and a whole bunch of guys because everybody's having such a ball with Builder Hall 9 right now. Y'all take care and keep on clashing. Bye now.